Shalom, shalom. Yup, I can hear us. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm actually about to get that spot. I'm in the wrong spot. You good?
You
You
good? You all right? Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
You know, we the Hebrew Israelites, man. We come out here to prophesy the downfall of Babylon, right? To prophesy to the elect coming together back into Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai and the coming of a Mashiach Yahushai. But before we start to prophesy to bring out anything, man, we're going to face the east and give our praises to the one true power.
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakradash.
Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well, teach well through the spirit, and mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, Lord willing. As a whole, y'all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Aquav, and Lord willing, this is the edifying camp through the spirit. My brother, not the starting off joint.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord."
So the Lord is putting prophecy in our mouths, man. Right? Brothers are going to be prophesying. Brothers can get Jeremiah 28, verse 7. You know, because that's what we're here to talk about. But really, there's a lot of things in the scriptures that pertains to prophecy. Keep going.
It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." And well, with that being said, you know what I'm saying, the Heavenly Father, you know, he's such a beautiful power. He's allowed these scriptures to be, you know, translated all the way to this time, man, and to the uttermost parts of the earth so that we can get understanding on this side.
Right.
You know, and now we're here to feed the sheep, man. This is what we're here for, man. You know, the time is ticking, man. The end is here. You know, this is why the men of the Lord, hey, brothers came out of all different walks of life to tap into the business of the Heavenly Father to give y'all this truth, man.
Right.
You know?
And you can even research when the Bible was printed on paper in 1445 in the Winsburg printing press. That's something to be like, wow, damn, the Lord did everything precisely, man. And that's an account for you to give him praise, man.
Yeah. Verse 3, it says, "Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." And they looking down upon the men of the Lord. We're being watched. We have an eye on us, man. Why? Because we're exposing the wickedness of Esau Edom, man. Okay, the world doesn't know what's going on, but we do. The scriptures say that the Lord, he revealeth his secrets into his service, man. All right? We're in the secret places of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
I got some real quick.
Because when you look at Egypt, as soon as Moses started prophesying the plagues, shit started to affect Egypt.
Yeah.
And so look, now that brothers is prophesying, this is why the world is really going in shambles because of the wise men.
Yep.
The scriptures say in the last days there should be scoffers striving at their own lusts, saying, where's the promise of his coming, for things continue on as they were. Okay?
Yep.
Well, we're entering the times where things are not going to continue on as they were, man. You got in Trump posted that tweet earlier today. He said Iran's got 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then today the Air Force sent out the B-52, which is called the Flying Fortress. And the last time that they used that was when they dropped the Moab, because they only put the big bombs on that plane. The Moab was the mother of all bombs that they dropped on Afghanistan. It basically is a nuclear payload without being nuclear. So I mean, who knows what could happen one day, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get active, man. No, because they've been holding that trigger, holding the trigger. I guess you say it like that. They're holding the trigger all this time, man.
Yeah.
So, but now things are about to get fucked up. This dude Trump, he wants to move on. This dude wants to move on. He wants to get out of that situation, man. So he's trying to blow out the big round so he can just finish it off. So he going to, because now he's talking about going after Cuba. So that's the next big target for them. But they're stuck, man. It's a snare.
God, it says, verse 4 says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what you see, creeping up, man. The sword, you know what I'm saying? Which is what? It's going to shed massive blood. The modern day sword would be what? The gun, you know what I'm saying? Or on a higher level, what's going to take this place out is those thermonuclear bombs, man. You know?
Look at Isaiah 62, verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which will never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of power, keep not silence. So that's what we're doing right now. We're not keeping silence, man. Now we're going to set on the walls to do what? To watch, man. So to watch for the prophecies, to watch for the events that will lead to this place's destruction, man. Now, and to warn. Now, we're here to warn the people, the nation of Israel, on what they're supposed to do to escape these dangers, man. Because the dangers are coming fast. Now, it's on the horizon, man. So I was watching the videos earlier today about how since the oil been cut off for so long, the last month's oil shipments will be coming over here. So when it runs out, when the oil shipments start coming in, that's when the real impact of the oil shortage got hit over here. Because right now, it's been delayed. All the shipments been taking so long to get over.
And remember, this is something that they've been trying to do anyways. Because they remember they did the tariffs. All right, they did the tariffs and they're trying to break the system. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, they're trying to break the system. But the tariffs, they were trying to use that to try to cause the ripple effect.
Right.
Now, listen, now they go into war, all right, to stop and to make this stuff ultimately break down. You know what I mean?
And that's how you do a war. It's not just really just shooting each other with ammo. You attack, the main resources, right? Because the main thing in war that's being used right now is that oil. The oil to move food, the oil to get your ass over there to another one.
Tanks, airplanes,
Yeah, all of that.
all the machinery.
And what shows that they're desperate is they putting troops on the ground. And that's one of the most dangerous things that they could do is put troops on the ground because it's the way Iran is designed. It ain't it's not an easy target to just go in with troops on the ground. So they said, fuck it, we just gonna sacrifice these niggas. We gonna do whatever we gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's
Kill
what it
1,000
is.
of them. Yeah.
Big
That's
ass
what it is.
sacrifice. Send them in there. Fuck it.
Send them in there.
And they don't tell you either, because you signed up for the army, and they just try to tell you that you're protecting your country. But really, you find out that you really fighting for Israel. That's the main reason. A lot of wars that America got involved in was because they was doing it for Israel.
Yep. And they
really
deceive
favorite.
these young people, man. They send their recruiters into the high schools.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them ain't even 18. They promise them that. They go for young people with
Gotta get
a
them when they're
record. They
stupid.
say, we'll clean your slate for you.
Yeah. They did
You
that
know?
to us.
See?
Yeah.
It was after us after 9/11.
But that's how you know, just through the spirit, this is how we know Cornelius had to be an Israelite. Because it's naturally what you see now, Jake getting into the army or being a cop, either because of the pay or the living is going to be a little better. You get some discounts, you get a deal. They get discounts from car dealerships.
Jake, they best soldiers, man.
Yeah.
It was a memo or whatever the case may be that it was Japan or China. One of them, they desperate to have Jake go over there and get their woman pregnant, and really it's because they know Jake is the strongest man on the earth, and they want to put him in the army. You know what I'm saying? So it just linked off what you were just saying, man.
Yeah, the kids will grow up and be Israelites.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou this word that I speak in thy ear, and in the ears of all the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can keep going. How was he doing that? Through the prophets.
Yep.
The next verse.
Verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee, of old the prophets, both against many cities, many countries, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. So if you know history merely repeats itself, the Lord is just showing you, just like how from back then, how before Jeremiah the Lord raised up prophets, the Lord is telling us in the same time when the Israelites will wake up, the Lord raised up prophets for you and then they were going to prophesy against different countries. This is how we're going to know that these are the prophets, right? And this is how we know we about to get the hell up out of here, because brothers is rehearsing Matthew the 22nd chapter, bidding you to the marriage. Get your ass and get ready, because the Lord about to have a show. One of the Rothschild sons tweeted on Twitter and said that the end is closer, or the end is near, man. Well, one of the elite banker's sons said that the end is near. And
Right.
Jake, y'all think that this is a game, man?
Right.
Oh, they had that, Salaki, they had that, what was it, the Department of Energy guy for, not the U.S., but from Italy. Because, you know, they're going to get hit harder with this because they get a lot of their oil from Iran, and Europe is. And the dude said, I pretty much can't sleep knowing what's going to happen over the next coming weeks and months.
That's yep. Probably it's 4, especially the elites. Probably 4, 6.
You want an example of what's going on, what's going to happen. You look at the Philippines. It's literally so bad, they have 45 days to live. You know, so they ran out of oil, they got to be starving to death. So they already had to put in lockdowns and road regulations, you know, restrict people who travel, blackouts, rolling blackouts and stuff like that. So it's bad out there, man. So if they were to continue on without oil, they're going to be fucked up. That's how it is.
Scriptures say that what they shall hate the Lord and burn her with fire, man. So America's screwing over its own allies like that. And Australia's going to go through the same thing shortly. They just issued a state of emergency over that. They just keep pissing off everybody that was joined the dance with them.
Right.
Yeah, because Trump he already said it. He said it publicly. He said we don't need NATO. So he basically saying that they can stand on their own and do whatever they want to do because they got the strongest military. But that fulfills prophecy. You know, this when the scripture you just quoted. He shall hate the whore and eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So she's gonna get the great whore is gonna get jumped.
Yeah.
You know, she's gonna get jumped. You know. Also, somebody can get how is the hammer of the earth? Jeremiah 51. Get that and then get that one in Revelation you quoted. Because basically, you know, America is so quote unquote the strongest nation on the planet with the strongest military. They got the most weaponry, but the Lord is going to show His might by bringing this place down. By because this is the main target for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, this is His main target. America, Babylon the Great. You got it? I think is it 51? How is the hammer?
How is the hammer?
Yeah. How is Babylon become? I think that's it.
It might be 50. Jeremiah. It's either Jeremiah 50.
How is she becoming desolation?
Right.
You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23.
Right.
It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth?"
Well, start up at verse 2.
I'll start at verse 22. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction.
We're seeing that right now. You know, they every day. Well, put it like this: that U.S. fighter jet they said got shot down, right? You would think that would be on every CNN, Fox,
all over the news.
You know, they really ain't trying to cover that type of stuff because it shows that they losing.
Yeah.
But anytime in Trump, when we was keeping the Passover and he was doing that speech, that nigga lied the whole time. The whole 22 minutes, he was just lying.
Make you shit up.
He was making it seem like they did this, they did that. He said, Iran, they got nothing. Everybody's dead. They don't got no military. He was just lying.
Make you shit up. Yeah.
But then it comes to find out, they getting blasted out the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He tried to say they had no radar.
Yeah.
But evidently they had radar that shoot the plane down.
And then I don't know if they found the pilot. They can't find this nigga.
They found one of them.
They found one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other one, he might end up being a fucking casualty of war.
And they said dead or alive, you know? That's what they say. Iran told them, hey, they said anybody who find them dead or alive.
They get hanged $60,000.
Yeah.
So these niggas are struggling with Iran. So imagine Russia.
Yeah.
Imagine, China.
It's over with.
You know, the Lord is showing how, this place isn't. It's not a place where she gonna go undefeated.
Right.
That bitch gonna be 58-1.
Russia's saying,
You know?
what was Putin saying? He's saying, oh, come buy oil off us now.
Yeah, they removed the sanctions too. America removed the Russian sanctions too. Huh?
He also lying about oil. He talking about Trump said on the news the other day, "Come buy oil from us." Why is the gas price going high? So
Right.
damn high?
If it's so much, if you
Yeah,
got
if
so
you
much
got so much
oil,
oil,
Yeah,
it's
right.
crazy.
It's shale oil. It's garbage.
Yeah, because the oil is on a global market. No, not just on one market, it's on a global market. So one place goes up, it all goes up.
But then the real situation, the whole scam. We know behind the scene is all just leading to the MOTV. You know, because to make war it has to be a conflict, but they make up fake shit, just like what Nero did in Rome. He made up that fake shit, but then that ended up ruining Rome. You know, they make fake news either for a publicity stunt, but it just makes another distraction for Jake to speak about. You know, Jake gonna still be freaking lost regardless if they telling the news or not. You know, but we know behind the scene they about to start a new system.
Salaki,
And Jake
they're
not ready.
spending billions of dollars, man. They're spending billions of dollars on this war.
Yeah.
I was watching a couple of videos, talking about their technology and their aircraft carrier. This thing can produce like 442,000 gallons of water per day using the seawater. But yet you got cities in here that can't get clean water.
It's still dirty.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I was watching another one where they're talking about the F-35. The helmets that they wear cost $400,000 a piece.
Damn.
And they got to be specially fit. You know what I'm saying? Specially fit
To that person.
because it's like it gives you a 3D
Word.
picture of like where you at or whatever.
they got to be able to see.
Yeah,
They
as
probably
an
can see
individual.
behind them.
Right, you can be able to see behind,
Yeah, they
below,
give advantage.
but they're $400,000 a piece. You know what I'm saying? And didn't they shoot one of them down?
I don't know if it
That was
was.
the F-15.
Yeah, one of them fit one pilot and one of them fit two. I don't know how it goes.
Yeah.
We
They
thank
used
you.
the A-10 or the A-10 Warhog, and they had the F-15.
But the F-35 don't even have like the central, you know how like you look they have all the little gadgets.
Yeah.
All that shit is
in
on
the
there,
face-
and it's
in
all
the face map.
computer.
That's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
all computer based or whatever. You know, it was just they were saying
got
that.
an
You know
Iron
what I'm
Man
saying?
helmet.
Yeah.
Right, it's crazy.
Okay. Verse 23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?"
Right, because it says this place is going to be wholly desolate.
Mhm.
It says it shall not be dwelt in from generation to generation. And that also proves that it ain't talking about ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon, which is modern day Iraq, you have people dwelling there still today. So it ain't talking about ancient Babylon. When you read Jeremiah 50 and 51, it's talking about this Babylon, this America. All right, go ahead.
It says, "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon."
Yeah, the Lord laid a snare for you. A snare is like a trap, a setup. See, right now, that's why the Lord wanted Trump in there, because he has a stout spirit. He don't give a fuck. Because if you pay attention, he ain't doing
He don't
shit
think,
like
right.
it.
Yeah, he don't
This ain't
think.
like his first term though.
Yeah,
His
no.
first term, the economy was straight. It was booming a little bit. It was better than what it was under Obama.
Let him loose.
And that's why niggas voted for him again, because they're like, oh, the
He had it
economy
good.
going, yeah. Now he fucking got this shit nosediving.
Right.
And Edomites don't even like that nigga. They like, fuck.
And you gotta even know how even more special he was handpicked and how he get removed. He couldn't even do a second term and get removed, and then now you come back again and now you're a president. He a special type of breed.
Yeah.
How you get removed from being a president, you still end up back in that damn office because he's selected. He's not
Selected.
fucking
He's
elected.
selected, yeah.
Because
was
he has
charged. He was
Huh?
what? He was
Yeah.
charged.
That nigga's a felon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know
He's
what I
a
mean?
100-time felon.
Yeah.
And he was trying to. They tried to impeach him. They tried to do all these things.
And another thing you need to know, Donald Trump is a businessman. That automatically should let you know America is a corporation. The man was just explaining when you go to war, it's a they losing and winning millions and billions of dollars, especially
Billions,
the
yeah,
elites.
billions.
We're all that arsenal, all them billions for what? Right? It's a whole money scheme, but it's really something bigger than that. It's not just about going over and getting resources. They setting up a whole nother system because that fucks up a whole nother country's living. Like we talk about food, water, and gas, that fucks up your living.
Who gonna make all that money? The
And that's
contractors.
Yeah.
You know
That's
that
why they
gonna use?
hesitant to go. That's why they can't bum rush that straight, because they got to be careful with those mines, because they can't afford to lose no ship. Those ships cost a lot of money, so they can't afford for just one of them ships to get blew up or partially blew up. That's why they're being careful.
And also, with the strait being closed, is affecting the dollar itself. Because the main reason why the dollar is so valuable is because of the petrodollar. And the petrodollar, the majority, because everyone invests in the dollar, is because of the oil sales. You need to buy oil in dollars. But now they're doing yuan you want, because the only way to get to the strait is to pay in yuan.
And that's why they took Venezuela. Because remember, Venezuela was trying to do deals with Russia. So they went over there. So now that money has to go through the dollar. Yeah, because before it was going through the yen and these other things. Now they're like, shit, we got it now. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go through us.
You see how critical, like when brothers talking about trade and the main resources, a lot of Jake that's just working a regular 9 to 5. You don't know how a kingdom is really corrupt. And that goes back to what mindset that you have. I'm tired of having a slave mindset. I have a ruler mindset. Like, I don't believe I have to be working. Like, I'm better than these niggas out here, man. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, you got Esau ruling. The way that he's ruling it is not ruling it for peace and joy, prosperity. It's really about him getting wealth in his own pockets. You know?
That's in the scriptures, man. It says he shall have more than his heart can wish.
Come on, man.
I gotta get that. You got it, bro. Whoever's asking.
It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught.
Right, you found and you caught.
Right.
You know? And this place has a deadline, by the way. Yeah. All right? America has a deadline, man. This place is not going to go on forever. You know, even though you have your different futuristic plans, you have a deadline. And we read about it every time we open the scriptures. You know, it's more or less we just being patient and waiting, but we know we close. But this place has an expiration date, man. And not only America, Babylon the Great, but different parts of the earth is going to be destroyed too. But this place is going to be annihilated. It ain't going to be nothing left. All right? Because this is the great horde that sitteth upon many waters. All right? And it's so much bloodshed here, man. You got these people in this time, they're talking about God bless America. When America was built on bloodshed, rape, rob, murder, wickedness. Even today, this place represents wickedness. All right, these people live by the do as thou wilt spirit. You do what makes you happy, whether it's wicked or not. If it makes you feel good, you're supposed to do it. And there's no standards here, man.
But yeah, they try to say that God bless America.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things this place promotes is adultery. This is an adulterous place, man.
That's why you call her a whore. She's the biggest harlot. But just the point, you grab it back saying the Job 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You know, he got a time limit where he can't pass. Just like when somebody died, that was your time to die. You know, and he can't go past his ruler. I mean, his time to rule. And through the Spirit, the Lord is already allowing us to see it. You know, the Lord is, through the Spirit, is already revealing who Esau is through the prophets and him telling on his own self.
Now these niggas talking about they flying around the moon. Why don't y'all just go on the moon?
Right.
Y'all did it in 1969.
They trying to have a Jake now.
Yeah.
They trying to
They got
make
one
him
nigga in there.
put him for Black History Month, the first black man to get to the moon.
By now, y'all should be moonwalking on the moon.
Yeah.
With all the technology y'all got. Now y'all talking about y'all gonna fly around it.
But your toilet don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
How you can get enough education to shoot to the moon, but your goddamn toilet doesn't work. Like what kind of madness is that, man?
And they supposedly didn't they supposedly live stream it? It was live streamed in was it 69 or 72?
69.
The nigga gonna get off the shit and step on the moon.
There's no
Right.
stars behind.
You know what I'm saying?
Live stream
Nigga was like this.
Live stream. You
Then
didn't have
planted
live
the
stream on
flag.
YouTube.
Yeah.
with the satellites.
Your service get fucked up
Big
now.
rocks
Right.
in the
How you got
foreground with the
Wi-Fi?
And you
background.
go between these two buildings, you
got
ain't got no
signal.
service.
That nigga out there hopping. That was a big ass green screen, man.
Big green screen.
Here it is, 2026. Y'all should be out there. It should be 20 niggas on the moon.
Right.
And right now, if you really did it,
You have a moon colony going on.
Yeah.
Set up there.
civilization, y'all should have a McDonald's up there.
Right. This how you know.
Starbucks.
This how you know your oppressor is a compulsive liar. You know.
Energy drinks on the moon.
Walmart, get the brand new Walmart.
Right.
Go ahead, Russell.
It says, because thou hast striven against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
That shows you that that's the Lord's missiles. Go ahead.
For this is the work of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the most high power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans.
So it says the Lord opened up his armory and the weapons of his indignation.
Right.
So the missiles are going to be shot when the Lord wanted them to get shot off.
Right.
Because those is his missiles. Just like the MOTB is his ship.
Right.
Those are the Lord's missiles, man.
Yeah, he want to see how they work. You know?
Yeah.
He gonna make them. He gonna make them work for him.
He said he set up the he created this.
Matter of fact,
Jeremiah 51, I
what's
believe.
that? North
14?
Korea.
Isaiah 40. Yeah.
Kim Jong Un was that North
Yeah,
Korea?
yeah.
He shot an ICBM missile the other day. Shot it, and then they tried to determine how far it went up. That's how far it could reach, and they said it could reach probably about 9,300 miles. So basically, both sides of Babylon. You know what I'm saying?
the
So they
Lord,
ready.
man.
You know, they testing them out, man.
When you go to Daniel 4:17, the Lord, through Daniel, he tell you that the Lord rules in the kingdom of men. So it's really the Lord having Esau have Trump do this, and then one moment he say something else and saying what he not doing. That's the Lord really doing this. It goes back to no free will. Everybody is playing the role that Yahweh Shemashai set up for you. You know,
That's the modern day
we just
Pharaoh.
glad that yup.
Harden his heart.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's crazy to the spirit how people in this society is calling Donald Trump Nero. You know, and the apostles been saying that he's Nero.
that's the spirit.
And that's just come on through the spirit, bro.
Yeah,
Just
that's
imagine an angel laughing like, man, they got it, man. They got it. There's no way how the Lord's setting that up like that.
Him being Nero, and that proves that this would be Rome.
Yeah. And 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. You gotta have that the spirit of the Lord to have that discernment. If you don't, you're a natural man. You know, a natural man can't understand spiritual
This
things.
is look.
Look at it.
Roman architecture.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at it. Look just like it.
Look at those windows right there on the brick building. Those arches. That's Rome.
Yeah.
Statues.
Yeah, this is Rome, man.
Yeah. And that would be spiritual in the aspect of, you know, you studying. And if you ain't studying, you wouldn't know that.
The military being spread too thin. Look at America. You every fucking where. You got garrisons everywhere. Military bases everywhere.
Yeah.
And then Trump, he's talking about some, we killed this guy, we killed that guy, we killed. Imagine if somebody came over here and just killed one, not even a president, a senator or a mayor. One guy. Imagine if another nation did that. They would label it a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you could take your red ass around the earth and just do whatever you want to do. You could kill kids on school buses in different countries. You could bomb this person, bomb that person, and deem yourself a hero.
Yeah. But they're true terrorists.
Yeah, but if a nigga come over here and blow himself up at a gas station, it's a terrorist attack on the whole fucking country.
Yeah, because they know the America, the rulers, they know that they're the head out of all the whole earth. You know that we can smack you and get away with it. Because back to Iran and them, they knew. They said the Jews left black and came back white. Why they never stood up? Because through the spirit, the other nations is afraid of Esau either. Because it was only one nation that really had the guts to drop a bomb. It was Esau first. He was the first one to do it. He was the first one to have them damn wicked ass guts to, I'm gonna press it. No other nation did.
And that goes back to him being king.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know.
Yep.
But it's Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who should bring me down to the ground?
That's why you gotta do skyscrapers and these tall. That's what he likes, man.
Yeah.
He likes that mountain.
That Nimrod.
It reminds him of his cave.
Right.
Because the caves, they go up, man.
Yeah.
Mount Seir,
Yeah.
the caves go up.
Valley.
You know?
Cliffs.
That nigga said, let me build this shit like Mount Seir.
He always want the penthouse.
Yeah.
You know.
And I believe it's something in the scriptures where it says a building ain't really supposed to be over a certain amount of stories high. You know? I might do a lesson on it.
Go ahead. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, hence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. That's what you're saying. We went to the moon, going back to the moon, all these space stations and sky,
Trump, the Space Force. He wanted the Space Force.
No, that's how they picture themselves as being invincible. No?
And the eagle. What's a lot? Go ahead.
The Lord got to bring them down, man. The Lord got to completely annihilate them. Man.
Yeah, and the eagles are one of the highest flying birds, or the highest flying bird, and they're very bold. You know, I was on TikTok the other day, and there was a random video in my algorithm, and the fucking dog was in the house, and the fucking eagle landed on their back porch and was looking at that thing. The dog. But those eagles, they can swoop the dog up. You know? So then the owners of the dog was like, yeah, better than that, you know, it's an eagle in our backyard. He was staring at that fucking dog.
If they want something that's bigger than them,
Yeah.
they'll take them up in the air, drop
Yeah.
their ass down, kill
Them
them.
niggas is hungry, they hungry.
That's a dangerous way.
Yeah.
You said the eagle represents proud.
Yeah, boldness.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Esau on the left hand side is that plain example.
Mhm.
And how the Lord just line it up so perfectly. The eagle, Esau.
Remember last year? It was last year. It was in the video. It was these two eagles fighting.
Oh yeah, in
They was fighting. Yeah, they was fighting to the damn near to the death, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
An eagle is a very, very strong bird, man.
Yeah.
You know?
He wingspan longer than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 to 8
Strong
feet.
claws, man.
Yeah,
Can
the
dig
claws.
right into your skull.
Oh, yeah.
Them claws.
And they could look like they vision is like.
Oh yeah, they can
crazy.
see all the way up. Yeah.
They'll see the fish in the water.
Yeah.
And
All the
from
way
that
up.
high view.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
That-
really a beautiful,
It's an amazing bird,
beautiful
man.
bird. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really,
yeah.
you know, Esau used it for wickedness, but
Yeah.
everything the Lord made is beautiful.
Yeah, and the eagle
Shit, you might
symbolic
make
to
you a
us,
pet eagle.
because you know what goes back to the angel that was described in Ezekiel.
See, I was gonna say that.
And
That's the
that
spirit.
represent us too,
Yeah.
in a form.
Yeah.
You know? But I got this because we still speak about Esau. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, in verse 1. It says, "Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesied against it." You know, this is not the mountain. This is the people of Mount Seir. That goes to Genesis the 36th chapter. So you have to know who belongs to Mount Seir, right? It's the people, the place of Mount Seir that do nothing to us. And it says, "And say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh Shemashai power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate." And if we go back into the law, we understand the Lord is going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Yep.
And of course, Amalek is going to be the least of them, you know, going into, you know, future prophecies.
To the flock.
You know what I'm saying? So Esau going to be that thorn in your side, Jake. You know, that one that you wrestling with in the womb. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Just like I was talking about the buildings, the Lord set them up to build up their whole system so that you can know, wow, the Bible is real. He did build this. Because before America was established, there was no high buildings. It was just rainforest. All of those was trees. They destroyed all of it. They destroyed all the land, put factories, you know, changed the whole land mass.
Even going back to Gad, it wasn't like this.
Right.
But that's the spiritual which you read. It says that he was going to lay Mount Seir most desolate. Brother just read that in Jeremiah 50, what it says about Babylon. You know, because America, Babylon the Great, is the modern day Mount Seir. The Lord told us to set our faces against it and prophesy against it. We're doing that today.
Yeah.
You know,
And through the spirit, if anybody watching, you go watch Genesis, if they saying Basra over there is where the lake of fire is going to be, that take away from what we just brought out Mount Seir, because Mount Seir is in the same area as Basra. So it has to all line up. How he just said this spiritually, let's talk about Babylon. When the Lord is speaking about Basra being dipped in Isaiah 63, that's speaking about America. So verse 5, it says, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end." Right? You could go all the way back to when a brother's speaking about Gad, where Jake say, let's forget about slavery. We can't do that if Esau can't forget 4th of July. He can't forget the Holocaust. The Lord set these memories up for us.
9/11. He made you
9/11.
remember that shit every year.
Right.
There'd be 1,000 flags hanging from these fucking poles.
That's a fact.
And he replayed the shit on TV.
Yep.
And then
People saying-
every fucking morning talk show, they gonna talk about it. And then they gonna say, remember the troops and all of this shit.
Yeah.
But we supposed to forget about 400, 500 years plus captivity.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Right.
Not to mention the tribe of Gad, Reuben,
Yeah.
and the other tribes, man.
Yeah.
And that's just like you. And that's just here in America.
Yeah.
Not to mention
Man.
the ones you threw over
Man.
the slave ships on the way here to feed to the sharks,
For real.
the ones you killed on the ships, the ones that died on the way
Yeah.
to America. Those, you know, it's your fucking track record is bloody, man.
And there's no verse where the Lord say, forget that.
Yeah.
You know, only thing though, we can't we're not in a place where we're supposed to destroy all the Edomites.
The Lord required that which is past,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and He's a just power.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
Lord, even though the Lord set it up, He said, in my wrath I have smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So yeah, in His wrath, He brought us low.
Right.
But that was just a punishment,
Mhm.
like a father would punish his son
Yeah.
or his children. But eventually, eventually you get let out the room.
Right, right.
Eventually, you get your PlayStation back.
Mhm.
Eventually, you could go outside and play. We coming back into that time. We about to get
Right.
the PS5 back. We about to be able to go back outside.
Talk.
We about to be able to play hide and seek again.
Man, I can't
We about
wait.
to be laughing, dancing. You know, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
And that just shows you that IUIC doesn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Because they talk about, you know, the hell doctrine, you know what I'm saying? But where's the Lord's mercy at? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The Lord is going to have mercy on his people. You know what I'm saying? The Lord put us through all this stuff. And the Lord is going to give us mercy again. You know what I'm saying? When you say that, you're just saying that the Lord is not merciful, man. You know?
This just one more verse. This is Ezekiel 35, verse 6 in the NLT. As surely as I live, saith the sovereign Yahweh, since you show no detest for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. Right? So since Esau loved blood, right, even going into Sirach, the 12th chapter, right, yeah, you know, in verse 16, he's not going to be satisfied with blood. It said that he has no detest for blood. I will give you a bloodbath of your own, right? And your turn will come, right? Esau's turn is going to come.
Yeah.
That bill is going to get paid. You could keep ordering food at that dinner table, but before you get the fuck up out of here, you got to pay that bill, you know? And he going to pay that bill, and he going to lay a tip down. Your tip is captivity.
Yeah. That's right.
It's your life.
And that nigga trying to escape the planet, man.
Right.
That nigga trying to build shit. He trying to
That's
build
why he
shit
do
in
it.
in another fucking world, man.
That's why he's trying to go to the
You know?
moon. They can't get me from here.
It reminds me of in the Maccabees when they attacked them and they tried to climb the wall and try to get up out of there. And there's no escaping, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna escape this shit.
Ain't no escaping this one.
You know. You
This
can't
is,
keep whooping the kid,
Yeah.
the children of the Most High's
Yeah.
ass,
Yeah.
and then think you're just gonna get away with it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you're good. Like Genesis, you can come along with us now.
Yeah.
Fuck all
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Just like Jezebel, when she did, guess what? She had to die almost the same way she left Barath, you know, with the dog eating his blood. She fell out the damn window. You're gonna reap what you sow.
This is Baruch 4:25. My children, suffer
Yeah, that's
patiently the wrath that has come upon you from Yahweh, for thine enemy have persecuted thee. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. It says, my delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. And that's the times that we coming into, man. We coming into the times that the Heavenly Father is remembering us, man.
That's the one right
All right, that brought these things upon us, man, and we're gonna tread upon the enemy's neck, man. You know that.
It was beaming hot out here. The Lord gave us a cloud.
And I was talking about the sun. It felt better.
Yeah.
No, but that point that you said in verse 30, you read verse 30?
Now I'm reading down right now. I'm reading 129.
Oh yeah. Come on, man.
It says, verse 29, it says, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. It says, take good heart, O Jerusalem, for he
That's what you see how that works?
Good heart.
Yo, see how that works? Dude, wait, can you
the curse is going back upon them.
can you read that verse?
Yeah.
Verse one more time.
Verse
bro.
29, it says, for he hath brought these plagues upon you, shall bring you everlasting joy again with their salvation.
Yo, it's amazing. The only way we could get out of this is by the same one that put us in it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so no nigga, no man Well, why are you looking for Esau to give you reparations or Jake to be rich to do something for you? Only Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is the only one that's going to do that for us, man.
How about Shemel Shai put us in timeout?
Come
Can't nobody
on.
else get us out.
Right.
Your brother can't get you out of
No man
timeout.
shall.
No, you gonna be in timeout,
Hey,
bro.
no man shall buy you, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And he stayed on that statement. And then when he gave you Yahweh Shai, that's how he bought you. Because it's a verse when you read in the NLT, the Lord bought you with a price.
Yeah.
That was by Yahweh Shai's life.
Yeah, the nigga who fixed the engine, he can't paint the car.
Mhm.
You know, you need a person to do body work to paint the car.
Right.
So all these different leaders that was raised up, and they made, you know, they all failed.
Yeah.
You know, the only ones that's going to raise our nation back up on this side is the prophets.
Right.
And those men were sent by Yahweh Shem Shai.
Yeah. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflict thee, and rejoice at thy fall. And that's the times we coming into, man. We rejoicing at the fall of this kingdom, man. Every time we wake up and we see something going on in the news, we like, we happy about it,
Read that
man.
one more time, Salah.
Yeah. Verse 31, it says, miserable are they that afflicted thee.
The other nations.
Yep.
Look at you watch those little TikToks and you see Esau, man. You know, he like
Crying.
yeah, now he crying because now he in the same situation that we've been in our whole
Right.
existence here.
Yeah.
Now he
400
want us to
year
show
start.
some compassion to him. No. Hell no. You know what I mean?
You know, David, the one that was doing the debating with Dwayne, he made a video on TikTok and said, look, I just found out that them Hebrew Israelites was right. He made a whole video
Yeah, I seen
trying to, I was looking at it as being fake, but he was trying to say that it's kind of hard to destroy it because their main point is that salvation is only for them.
Yeah. Keep talking about
It says, verse 31 again, it says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall.
Yeah, they rejoiced at us
Yeah.
being taken down.
First by Babylon.
Yeah.
Raise it.
Yep, they
yeah.
rejoiced at it.
Yeah.
They still do that to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says,
Especially when they planting like drugs in your society. But you remember like raising up, crack didn't kill us. All those things they kept implementing to kill you.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
Go ahead.
verse 32, it says, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that deceived thy sons.
You basically reap what you sow.
Yeah. And what's going on? The people in the cities is miserable, man.
Yeah.
They can't pay their bills. You making $100,000 a year. You still struggling.
Work not the same.
You done voted for this nigga now. He done promised you all this shit. Now.
You need 4 jobs now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Oh, you got some people that be having condos now. They asking for roommates to go half. Hey, yo, you can live in a condo, just go half with me. And some people regretting them type of payments.
But them 40-cent raises ain't doing it.
Ain't
Yeah,
doing
it's not.
nothing.
They give you 40 cents.
You done voted for this nigga all
And then raise your
just
food for
because you racist. You know what I'm saying? But your life is just getting worse. You know? It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Right. Don't even say in Psalms 126 we was gonna be like them that dream and we gonna laugh. We gonna laugh at them that fall. Even in the kingdom, the other nations gonna say, wasn't you the one that had all the nations in subjection? Just imagine being on high and then now coming to the next kingdom, all you gonna hear is people talk shit that you had power once.
It's that trading places and
Yeah.
coming to
Yeah,
America.
that's when they traded places.
Boys,
Yeah.
you know, remember they were coming to America, they was laying on the street, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Begging.
It says, verse 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time.
And that's the same thing that happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Fire and brimstone came from the heavens. And that's what's going to happen to this place. But it's going to be a nuclear fire. People going to look up one day and it's going to be nukes. They're going to see nukes in the air.
Yeah.
And I seen many videos of what one nuclear missile could do.
Oh, yeah.
Just one.
One. Take
That
the whole
shit, when
out.
that shit hits, them warheads hit, you could be fucking 200 miles away, man. That
You
shit
feel
is
that
going to
effect
sweep.
of it. Yep.
It's going to sweep and it's going to sweep fast. And that's just one.
And you're not even no fast reset.
That's
no
why.
buck-
That's why when you
See that?
see this message,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why when the scriptures say in 1 hour this place will be destroyed, man. 1 hour, man. And the Lord put, on the internet for us to see how what one bomb could do.
Just
man.
one.
One nuke could devour this whole shit.
And
Man.
what does that prove? We gonna need them chariots,
Oh
man.
yeah.
We gonna need this
Oh yeah.
to escape that.
Mhm.
Hey, you gonna need a vehicle of Yahweh Shem Yahshai,
Oh,
man.
for sure. Right.
Because those chariots, a missile ain't gonna do nothing to those.
He said
You
you're
know?
gonna be scarcely saved.
Yeah, the righteous self.
And-
You might think you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, because you're gonna see the missiles coming down. You just might not get that. You might not get the effect.
Man.
Wait, you might see the joint touchdown, explode, the broom push out, and the Lord deliver you before that impact. The scarcely being saved is difficult or
Yeah.
barely. That's and it's only two exits. It's either you dying before or you getting beamed up.
Yeah, that's it.
Either way.
Because only a bunker not gonna save you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how deep you go.
Listen, they
or
got
where
the
you-
bunker busters.
The
man.
bunkers, these bunkers in America, they gonna get fucked up.
And Slovakia, I clipped this little clip today, and it shows how many nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Russia got four.
Russia has 4,380. China has 500. France has 290. United Kingdom 225. India 172. Pakistan 170. North Korea has 50. You know what I'm saying? And what more? You know what I'm saying?
China, they got one
That's
of them.
probably what they just disclosed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So China got one missile that can carry between 12 and 18 warheads.
Yeah, it's really the warheads.
Yeah.
What's
They could be
the
little
power?
or big.
But just
Power is
imagine.
warheads.
Yeah.
I mean, Russia got enough for each major city here in Babylon
Yeah,
by
that's
itself.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be overkill. The Lord is going to do overkill here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's going to make sure that this place, like I said, Isaiah 15, I will sweep it with the besom of
Oh,
destruction.
get,
That boom.
Russia has
Get Jeremiah 51.
the dead hand, where their computers like communicate back and forth with whatever their central command is, and if there's no response back, then it automatically fires missiles. So if America decides to shoot them at Russia, Russia's going to shoot them back even if they kill her.
Right.
It's like, well, if you fuck me, we're going to fuck
Right.
you type.
Goodbye.
That's it.
Dead hand, look it up.
That's
Somebody get Jeremiah 51 and 1.
It's Isaiah 14, verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the nations in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. But the main point is, the only Lord got cast this place down there, because right now the place is displaying itself as the city of gold and a place of land and milk and honey. So that is the most best place in the world. But Lord is actively taking down that image, man. That falsehood, man. That's all it is. It's just a falsehood, man.
Trump said they got the highest record-breaking numbers. When that nigga speaks of America, you would think the streets is paved with fucking
Man,
gold,
for
man.
real, bro.
Everything is just up since his presidency. This shit is a shithole.
And these dumbass people just sucking it up.
They sucking it up.
That's why Zaire and them, man. After they think this is fucking heaven.
Yeah.
They know it's
No,
not.
now.
The GDP was only up 1.9%. What the fuck is 1.9%?
Right. America was only made for you to be in the of the world. You know.
You got a dollar.
They'll say, well, if you don't like it, you can go live somewhere
Yeah,
else. If
yeah.
I had the means to,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I would
really,
get up and, I would.
If it
The
was
Lord
y'all
got
for
us.
the
The
truth,
Lord
yeah.
got us here
Yeah.
for this truth.
Yeah.
I would get up and I done been to different countries, man.
I at least be living in Canada.
I get the hell up out of this.
when you go to Luke 10, Yahweh Shai said that he sent the 70 2 by 2 to different cities that he would go teach. And through the Spirit, wherever Jake at is where Yahweh Shai would teach. So if you in Baltimore, Yahweh Shai got your ass there because that's where he would teach. That's
Right.
where he needs you at. You know, and sometimes the brother, the Spirit might move you. He might, remove you, and that wasn't on you. It's because the Lord might seem you're a better fit over here.
Yeah, Esau stationed his soldiers. The
Yeah.
Lord do the same thing. This is where we stationed.
What was it? The embassy. What did you say? Garrisons.
Yeah.
You got that you got Jake that's from United States and other places, man. And them brothers is dealing with other women in other countries while still being a soldier for the United States. Oh yeah, they don't got to deal with the women of America. That's that's one little good thing you get.
That's a blessing not to
Yeah.
deal with these westernized hoes. They the worst ones.
Yeah.
They got terrible mindsets, man.
Horrible.
Yo, and it's gonna be crazy if you a man in America's military and you overseas, all of y'all gonna see America get destroyed, man.
Well, it could be, but it probably got to be sensitive about Jehoshaphat getting blown up anyway.
Yeah, that too.
So they got to see all right.
Mhm.
And when they getting blown up, so yeah.
That shit is crazy.
Bring this out real quick. This is, I asked ChatGPT, tell me about Russia's dead hand system. It says, Russia's dead hand system, officially known as Perimeter, is one of the most extreme nuclear fail-safe mechanisms ever created. It's basically designed to guarantee retaliation even if the entire leadership is wiped out.
Damn.
Think of it like a doomsday backup switch. If Russia gets nuked,
It's like the mall. If the
Automatic.
Mall, that's like the mall. If it shut, they automatically come back on because of the generator.
if Russia gets nuked and leadership can't respond, the system can automatically launch nuclear retaliation, ensuring mutual destruction no matter what.
That's fire.
They
They got that shit. It's automatic.
It's inevitable.
They shoot. Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
They made sure you can't stop this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's going. It's hitting.
Yo, look, you can't stop somebody that made that engineer that did. You know he's serious about business if he program his joint. That if anything happen to us, kill us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means your life is in somebody that really has that motive. All you people in Russia, that's the mindset that he has, man.
Imagine sitting back and deciding, what could we do? We'll make it slip and fire back no matter what, destroy everybody. That sounds like something Esau would come.
That's crazy, bro.
Destroy the whole world.
Jeremiah 51:1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against the evil well in the midst of them, raised up against me and destroy wind.
Yeah, a destroying wind. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. And picture Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That destroying wind is what's going, that's that nuclear fire sweeping across America.
That hundred dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
That is everybody.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Just holding on to that gate. That flesh. First when the blast hit, she was like,
Yeah.
And then that destroying wind came through.
And it was just like the scriptures say, because they were, you know, like Yahushua said, as in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
You know, so shall be. Yeah. They was having their little
At the
park and doing, you know,
Normal day
and
shit.
Boom! All of a sudden, boom!
Right. When you get the etymology for the one for destroying, it goes into cast off, destroying, destruction, perish, or spoil, or waste. Right? And you go into the meaning of wind, right? It goes into spirit. Like the apostles say, the spirit of the Lord is going to be upon it. Right? A vain or empty thing. Right? Because it's not going to have emotion and feelings. Oh, the poor baby. And that, like even when it say dash the baby, sometimes that can even point to the missile, because that wave, that wave that's going to hit, people going to be thrown and tossed to the wall, man.
Salaki, it's gonna be like that movie Angels in the Outfield.
Oh yeah.
You know
That shit,
making
yeah,
the ball and
yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
that
And
shit
the Lord
fire.
had them angels.
Yeah.
That shit crazy.
I forgot about that movie.
And then
Watch
it
that.
say the wind
That was
represents
fire.
temper and it represents anger.
Yeah.
You know, so the Lord's spirit is,
Indignation.
yeah. So the Lord's spirit is gonna be in these missiles,
That's
man.
the second death.
Woo.
The first death didn't have mercy.
Yeah.
So the second death, when all those people drowned during the flood, the water didn't say, hold on, let me wither around him. And whoever was outside of them 8 souls, they got drowned.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be with the nuclear missiles. Who's ever outside of the elect, they going, you know, obviously you're gonna have some people survive because it's gonna be different countries.
Yeah.
Different countries.
Like this
You know?
brother said, it's gonna be a whole lot worse because, like you said, you're gonna have people who survive it. They're gonna see the destruction, and that fear is gonna come.
Yeah,
about.
like in Revelation, it says that they saw the smoke of her burning.
Yeah. Even
know?
the merchants, they're gonna be on their way here, and they're gonna be like, oh, who's gonna buy our merchants? They're gonna see it be destroyed too.
And when New Jerusalem comes down, everybody who saw gonna be slaves.
Yeah.
Because when we come down off the ships, it's gonna be we ain't, like I always say, we ain't gonna come down 5'11", 230.
We gonna come back.
We ain't
with
coming
might.
down off the ships like that, man. We coming down in new bodies.
Like we ain't never been
Okay?
conquered.
So when you see us, you gonna be like, damn,
Yeah.
you know?
Like Space Jam. When they touched that ball and they came out that shit, they came out different.
Yeah.
We gonna come like the dude that was working in the military. They look like they haven't been conquered. In that new body, you ain't never been conquered. We gonna come out like we ain't never been fucking conquered.
Man.
Women and children
Oh,
will
yeah.
still be on the ship,
Yeah.
watching the men of the Lord go
Man.
conquer and get these. What Yamayan said in the song, we gonna get you out of them hoes.
And that's what's spiritual about the movie Avatar.
Oh,
The
yeah.
main character, his name was Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And in the real world, he was fucking handicapped.
Yeah.
He was in a wheelchair.
Paralyzed.
But then he got into his avatar, his new body, and he was the leader.
life,
He was
man.
unstoppable. When he
Yeah.
first got the body,
Yeah.
he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The nigga had to go outside and start running.
Yeah.
Then he squeezed his feet and fucking bit that berry. He's fuck is this shit. Like that's how we gonna be. Like,
And it was more
You know?
spiritual because
and he and he hated to go back into
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
body,
Oh,
man.
man.
He was like, I gotta go back into this shit.
yeah,
Like
gotta
that's
lift
like
up your legs.
Yeah.
He didn't want to eat.
he wanted, because they sent them in like you know,
Yeah,
like a spy.
yeah. But he, you know, he enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
Man, why you think the baby cry when they first come to this world? They're like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
They be mad as
that's
hell.
spiritual. Yes. And then you got to know for him to transform, it's all a spiritual thing. It's all the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is why brothers always speak about faith in the spirit. The commandment, yeah, you're supposed to rehearse, but it's all the inward thing.
Right.
That's why in that avatar, it was all an inward transformation.
Yeah.
And he had to change the way he was living,
Mhm.
how he moved. It's not the same how you do in America.
Yeah.
And then when they were trying to take over, he was telling, look, if they come over here, they're gonna destroy everything.
Right.
Even in the third one, he kept saying, he said, man, if them people from the world, if the people that come from the world come here, they gonna destroy everything. And he kept saying it from the first one, the second one, the third one. What do Esau do?
That I was gonna
Always
say.
destroy
what he
everything.
was trying to do.
And he tried to go to the spiritual tree. That's how even more we look at that as spiritual.
He was trying to destroy that whole movie. He wanted to take, and he was killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not even caring.
What that one Edomite elite said when they dropped the bomb on Japan, he said, we are the destroyer. We have now become the destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, I become death.
Fucking
That
devil.
was it.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16. I could read the whole thing, but I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 3, it says, a sword. Okay. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, I'm reading all the way down to 12. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt, Syria. Girt up yourselves with sackcloth, with cloths of sack. Here, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who shall turn it back? Just like the brothers are saying, man, it's inevitable, man. You know, Russia got an automatic counter system, man. It's over with, man. You know, it says, a fire is sent amongst you, who shall quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? It says, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it have begun to burn? It says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. Speaking of what? The thermonuclear missiles, man. You know, nobody's going to be able to turn that back. You know? And there's plenty of scriptures that back this up. Like, it's a plethora of scriptures to go into the thermonuclear bombs, man. You know?
Dozens of them.
Yeah, but ultimately, man, the Lord, he's put it on our spirit to see it, man. You know? Hey, it's only one truth, man. You know? And how you gonna get this truth is by the men of the Lord that come out here week in, man. Week out.
We teach you the correct doctrine. Because there's not more than one doctrine that's correct.
That's right.
All right? This is
only
the,
one
the
doctrine.
true doctrine, man.
Yep.
That's why it's consistent.
Yeah. Wait, just want to just say, because what you said, So like, well, you can go ahead.
Verse 8, it says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? It says, he shall cast lightning, and who shall not fear? It says, he shall thunder, who shall not be afraid? Yahweh hath threatened. It says, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? That's the wave of them bombs, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you right here, if that bomb hit and you 4 miles out, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna just
something like you said.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 miles out. What was it? 7 miles
Yeah,
out.
so-
Everything gonna disintegrate.
And then you got
But then
after,
radiation, the aftermath, radiation gonna tear everything else
and
up.
then to keep going and keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
There's nothing you could do about
nothing
it
you can
because
do
the
about
Lord
it, man.
set it up. The Lord set it up for this to happen. So there's nothing that you could ultimately do to
Yeah.
stop this.
Yep.
You
One
know?
of the things that gets often overlooked is in the surrounding areas outside of that blast zone, all the glass is going to shatter. That's what they're saying. Like a lot of people are going to die from glass injuries.
Yeah.
Because you're in a room, right?
Oh.
Damn near every room in
Yeah.
the house has windows. That shit gonna go
Oh
flying at you
yeah,
hundreds
to
of miles
Boston.
an hour.
Remember the Boston bomb? Remember that?
Hundreds of miles an
Remember
hour.
that? The bombing that happened in Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Boston Marathon and all of them. And when the bombs exploded, the knives came out and was cutting and was sticking motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like glass shrapnel on people's bodies.
And when
Yeah.
when them bombs come, they shoot out like a shotgun, shoot in all different directions.
The-
and you got to think about the warhead.
The way when you see it, they showed a picture of a bus, and when the nuclear bomb hit, it hit the bus, and the paint evaporated. You see the paint just go up in dust. You know what I'm saying? Before the bus
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
flew and burned away, like first
They
it
show
was
you
the,
step
it
by
was so
step.
it was so hot and intense, and so that the paint just evaporated off of it. You can
That's
see it.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Two more verses.
When you do the AI overview, it says arrows are symbolic metaphors for missiles, representing speed, destruction, and attention in both ancient and modern contexts. Their precision strikes in divine judgment in religious texts, indicating military defensive power when compared with symbols of peace, so on and so on. But right here it shows you, and even if you go to ChatGPT, it will tell you that the missiles are symbolic to arrows. When you look at the science to it, to shooting something from a far distance, is a certain way it has to be made.
Yeah,
and the
when
best way is the arrow.
Yeah, and that's the only way that the prophets knew how to explain it.
Yeah,
when they looked, when they seen the vision, it looked like arrows. You know, they put the fire on them,
Yeah,
and they were shot into the sky. Remember
Yeah.
the movie 300 when
Yeah.
when they seen the arrows coming, they put their shields
Yeah.
up. It looked like, if you looking high, it looked like a damn arrow.
Yeah.
Or stars falling. from
Yeah,
the
stars
sky.
falling from the sky.
And the Lord allowed him to expound it on things we already see and know. So when we come in this captivity, when somebody say a missile, it would make sense, because when you shoot a missile and from this view, it's gonna look like a star. So it's gonna make sense to those that are spiritual, like, it's looking like, that makes sense. You know?
Verse 12, it says, the earth quaketh and the foundation thereof. It says, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep. It says, the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. Behold, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and before the glory of his power. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
Yeah.
It says, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin. It says to be shot into the ends of the world. And a normal arrow can't be shot to the end of the world.
It can't last an air that long. Yeah. It shows that the Lord been testing these missiles out until he was ready for World War III. He kept all them times Esau was testing them, sharpening up, like with a blade, you keep sharpening it to make it more precise. That was all the Lord testing his device that he made, because he's making sure at the end that Babylon won't stand again. Like, we really dealing with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, who's really planning on destroying your fucking kingdom, Esau.
We read earlier, it said the Lord, he have opened up his armory in the weapons of his indignation.
That's
read
crazy.
about it again.
Yep.
You know?
Come on.
And I always say, because I be thinking like kind of funny sometimes, like you got you got somebody out there that they job their actual job.
Yeah.
They get paid to keep polish missiles.
Yeah.
Keep them clean.
Yeah, no,
Check
it's a
on
fact.
them.
No, the one
You
dude, he
know?
get paid $9,000 to polish
Yeah, they
cars
gotta-
and
Yeah, you keep them
jets.
clean, you
Yeah.
wipe them down.
9,000
And
a
it
day.
probably take a couple people to do because they big, you know.
Yeah.
Keep this motherfucker ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's what they do
Maintenance on
at
it
the
all the
harbor.
time.
Yeah.
That's what they do at the harbor.
Polish them missiles. That's a job.
Yeah.
Keep them clean. You know, make sure they ready to go at all times. They
Right.
probably got certain computers where they know that it's still functional.
Uh-huh.
Nothing clogging that
Diagnose
hole.
it. Yeah.
We're
So,
ready to
it's, so,
go, you know?
it's so beautiful that they don't even know that the Lord about to destroy their ass with it.
Right.
Yo, you said that at work. And a brother just said this last night. He said,
Kept this motherfucker clean my
yeah.
whole life.
Jeremiah said this at work, and another brother said it just last night. He said Esau can't do nothing to stop the plans of the Lord. Even if he read it and know that this is the
Yeah.
MOTB, the
Okay.
Lord is gonna go in his mind
Yeah.
and make sure he do the
Still gonna
MOTB.
force it.
And his
Yeah.
dumb ass is gonna name it not the MOTB. It's gonna be a different name, and he gonna think he doing something, but it's still gonna be the MOTB.
Well, Elon Musk, he's infatuated with furthering his chip,
Uh-huh,
his
yeah.
brain chip. He's always trying to make it better so he could produce it.
That's that
to
pinky and
people.
brain spirit.
Well, they
Yeah.
had that one chip company. What was it? They put the chip in the dude's brain, and he was playing fucking video games with it.
Yeah,
Is that
Laying
not-
down, playing
the
video
video?
games.
It wasn't Neuralink. I don't think. It was
It was something else, yeah.
Yeah, they got like about 4 or 5
Different
companies
companies, yeah.
With
that, are,
chips.
that are actually bidding on doing that. Like China has one where it's basically just like a little slit and it goes
Yeah,
in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that one, it just,
Like, they
there's no
got-
surgery to it.
Hey, man, that's the scripture speaking, man.
Yeah. The China, Tokyo, anybody that got fast technology computer-wise is most likely gonna push it, but we know scripture-wise, because you know scripture-wise, Esau's so proud. You know how Esau's so proud. Esau gonna want to have. He's gonna want to be the first, because if any other nation get it first, it takes him from having his power. So he's gonna do anything. That's why he's gonna have to implement it as fast as he can.
And and this devil will mock. He'll mock Ishmael
Yeah.
for blowing himself up. But you creating something that's gonna blow yourself up.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's a fact too.
Because they talk shit. Oh, they'll blow themselves up for their guy.
That's just what you gonna do.
That missile is designed for you to blow yourself up.
Yeah, hey, shit, you doing dumb shit for your God too. You over here marinating the baby to sacrifice to Molech.
The scriptures say, talk about them being caught in their own snare or something like that,
In
right?
their own trap.
Yeah, they're gonna be caught in their own trap.
And one of those videos that Iran, because Iran be coming out with these little mini videos and shit.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, they showed how Babylon worships Molech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should,
You
yeah.
know?
They turned
They
it to the
showed
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, they showed it.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Yahoo want to get offended and say that's a threat. So that then you
Well-
just basically telling yourself that you must
Well, ain't
worship.
you at war? You clearly at war. If you
Yeah.
send some niggas in my house, we at war.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a threat. The fuck? We
Right.
at you at war. You worried about a video, but you sending mad troops up into their shit.
Right.
They didn't. Now if they sent troops over here, imagine if Iran said we gonna send 2,000 troops on American soil. They would bug the fuck out over here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They would bug out.
Oh, they would bug the fuck
Well,
out.
That'd
They
be-
would be trying to figure
that'd
out
be
which
red
state
dawn.
they come into.
Red dawn.
These niggas would, these Edomites would, I'm getting my fucking gun ready.
Yeah,
That shows the hypocrisy, man.
Yeah.
Imagine if a nation said we gonna send thousands of troops on American soil.
man.
This
These
place would
liberated.
fucking bug out.
Oh, yeah, motherfucker.
But you think in your mind that you could just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why you got to be taken out.
And they
Yeah.
push that propaganda on all these countries, you know?
Like it's okay. You
Yeah.
just running up in somebody's
Running
shit.
up in
Right. But
And
they,
then get on
they
the
acting
podium.
like folks are just walking around with
Yeah.
bombs strapped around themselves.
You don't think that
They're
those
doing
people in
that.
Iran is,
Yeah.
is worried about where you?
Yeah.
They got to worry for their lives.
Yeah,
Where you?
right.
What city you coming to over there?
Right.
Yeah, you're already killing kids, blowing up families, you're already having rain oil on top of them.
You a
But they
fucking
can-
hypocrite, man. You are a hypocrite. But even if another nation come over here and shoot another, let's say a fucking Iranian came over here and shot up a church, it would just be all out chaos
Yeah.
over one thing.
But they got a problem with some Arabs because they seeing anybody with Zionists or anything that's connected to Jewish.
Yeah.
They kicking you out their restaurants. They just kicked out a couple because they had a Zionist hat. He said, "Oh, you a threat. He said, how am I a threat? Because of a hat. He said, no, we don't want nothing. He said, I didn't do nothing. He said, you got to get out. People are serious. Yo,
Yeah.
these nations are serious about that, especially Muslims. They serious about that shit. Man. Yeah. So any one of us that's promoting that shit is a problem. But then it's gonna lean on to thinking that Jake with the fringes that we connected with them. That makes even more sense. To be more secretive on this. Because you see the Zions wearing these same things.
Yeah, they wear fringes, but it's more like a
And they wear the tassels.
more like a tassel, yeah, you know. But yeah, they just trying to connect Jake with terrorism in general. You know, that's why when you over here, man, you gotta walk with wisdom, man.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta have on your fringes when you go into the store.
Right.
You know, you don't have to do all that because the fringes basically just make you remember the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what they were designed for. You know what to do and what not to do.
Right.
You are the fringe.
Yeah.
You know,
Technically, yeah.
and you ain't going off if you do it,
Right.
but just you know,
You gotta be wise with these lives.
be Clark Kent, man.
Yeah.
And you gotta know we woke up from a dead estate. The dead estate, you rehearsing it, but we trying to do it back into the ancient time. No Jake is walking around the street for 24 hours, except for that dude that was on YouTube walking around with your garment on. I'm about to go to the store, garment on. I'm about to go to the court, my garment
Nigga
on.
go to the
Jake
movies.
was doing that, I think, in Baltimore or whatever the fuck it was.
They go see Scream 7. I got the garment on.
Yeah, and the guy got the J's. He had the baby blue J's on, matching the garment. And they say Quan Yasharella on this garment walking in the mall.
They tried to holler at a woman with his garment on.
You said what?
They tried to holler at a girl with his garment on.
Yo, what's up, man?
Nigga
That
in
shit
Chili's,
crazy.
eating Chili's.
That shit crazy, man.
Hey, you ain't going off. It ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know, we just talk, we just clown. You know, just be letting out your left hand and what your right hand do. Most importantly is you come out here on the highways and the byways and you teaching His word and you living it.
Right.
You know, because one time, remember, they had the nigga with the garment smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Where fringes go off. Yeah.
so you know, nigga he was on the balcony.
They just
Fringes with a
posted
cigarette.
on social media. A bro just got caught slipping, smoking crack with fringes on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
He got caught smoking crack.
That was performing at the Passover with fringes,
Right. Yeah.
live and direct.
I saw me. Yeah. He was really bringing out whatchamacallit, Wu-Tang. What you got, Ashley?
The book of Revelation 7, starting verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels saying on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Now that wind they're talking about that the brother going into, the nuclear destruction. And I saw another angels ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the surface of our power in their foreheads. You know, and how who's being sealed is talking about the elect. I mean, how much you shot? Mainly the 144,000.
I got a precept. This is Limitations, the 4th chapter, verse 19 in NLT. Our enemies were swifter than eagles in flight. If we fled to the mountains, they found us. If we hid in the wilderness, they were waiting for us there. Our king, Yahweh's anointed, the very life of our nation was caught in their snare. We had thought that a shadow would protect us against any nation on earth. Are you rejoicing in the land of Uz, O people of Edom? But you too must drink from the cup of Yahweh's anger. You too will be stripped naked in drunkenness. O beautiful Jerusalem, your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile, but Edom, your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be